Everyone, welcome to Nightmare Realm. Today I want to talk to you about some biohacking subjects. This is going to help you feel healthier, feel better. Not only that, but it's going to help you kind of hack your biology so that you're able to find the energy, the strength, even if you feel like it's impossible. So the first thing I want to talk about is something that I do on a regular basis. I actually do it every weekend and sometimes during the day on weekdays, and that is simply intermittent fasting. What is it? How does it work? You've probably heard a lot of this and a lot of people talk about it, the benefits of it, or, if it's good or bad, and what their experiences are. So we're going to get right into that. So simply what intermittent fasting is you pick a time period like 4 hours, 8, 6, 12. You're picking blocks of time and you're just not eating. Now you can have some water. That's perfectly fine. And you can also have some coffee, that's good as well. And then what you want to do is just go ahead, just make sure it's black coffee, and just go ahead and preoccupy yourself with something. You don't want to be thinking about food. You want to say, wow, it's been 2 or 3 hours and I haven't eaten anything, because then it'll start to creep up on you. And what this does is a lot of different things. Now people will just say, oh, you're fasting, so you're just not eating, it's going to help you lose weight. And to me, that's just one small part of it. And funny enough, I didn't find intermittent fasting from the fitness community or anything. I know it's a big thing on YouTube now, biohacking. I found it through actually the practice of Ramadan with my cousins. So it was an interesting introduction. But what I found when I fasted is I had a lot more energy. My mind was a lot clearer. I was a lot more productive, like 100 times more productive. Like sometimes when I eat too much and I'm thinking, I want to do something, I'm like, no, I really don't, because it's just that little extra urge to get stuff done. And while that doesn't seem like a lot, it is a huge deal. It's something that's absolutely awesome. So intermittent fasting, I usually pick like during the weekdays, like a time of like 4 to 8 hours, maybe when I get up at 7 to noon or 1, and then just don't eat. Just don't eat anything. Just have some mineral water, maybe some black coffee, and then that's about it. And that usually gives me that extra boost of energy. But it's not just losing weight is the cool thing about this. Yes, you can lose weight. Yes, you can get some pounds off. And some people talk to me about that. They're like, I want to intermittent fast to lose pounds. But it helps with your skin. Your skin will start to clear up. You'll look a lot better. It'll start to kind of, clear all these things coming out of your skin, stuff like that. It'll also clear up a lot of your organs. Now, that's not something you physically see, but it is something that you physically can feel. So your body is always moving when you put food in it. You can kind of think of it like a car. If you don't start a car for a very long time, which would be akin to not eating, then it'll have problems, especially in the winter. Your battery can die if you're in a cold climate. Now, if you're always driving your car, like just say you never stopped your car, you never turned it off, you never put it in park, the car would slowly break down. Just because wear and tear, like the oil would need changed, the tires. So when you're constantly eating, your body is always working to break down and digest everything. You need to give your body a break. You need to give your body that amount of time where it's able to just sit down, compress, and allow itself to just clear it out. So honestly, it clears out your organs. It clears out a lot of the gunk that gets in there from food. It gives your body some time to rejuvenate. And through this rejuvenation process, some pretty amazing stuff happens. What happens? If you fast for a while, sometimes it clears out senescent cells, or what they call zombie cells. Now these are cells that are just kind of moving around your body like without a purpose. Like you can think of them just as cells like bumping into here. They're not really doing anything, and they're not like serving your best good or your health. It's not a super crazy scientific explanation. I'm not a doctor though. It's not health advice. This is just, what I've got from, taking a look at the benefits of fasting. It's going to help clear out those cells. And what that does, it's a process called autophagy. It helps clear out those cells, and then you'll start to feel and look younger. I always wonder, what is one of the biggest ways? Everybody's all about anti-aging now. I want to age. I don't want to age. I want to be younger. I want to be, 20s, 30s the new 20, 40s the new 30, 50s the new 40. 60's the new 50. You know, I hear those things quite often. And it's because, you know, a lot of people want to stay as young as possible for as long as possible. Now, there's different ways to do that, and you can spend money, but I'd say the easiest way, the way to really do it, other than getting good sleep and drinking a lot of water, which I'll touch on in other videos, is simply to fast. To use intermittent fasting as a way to just clear all the gunk out and to clear those senescent cells out. And especially if you get up to the point where you can fast for 3 days straight, which I don't recommend doing initially. I recommend kind of, you know, breaking it up into like doing 4 hours. You can think of it kind of like working out. You wouldn't go your first day working out, most people, and try and do like 200 or 300 pounds on bench press. But that is a doable goal if you keep going to the gym and being consistent. So what I would say here initially is you want to go ahead and try and fast for like 4 hours. Just take 4 hours, don't eat anything, see how you feel, see if you're able to do that. Now, if you're diabetic or if you have another condition, definitely make sure that you check with your doctor, you check that you're able to do so. Maybe you're not able to do so, and that's fine. Some people aren't able to do this, but if you can, try 4 hours, just drink some water, just clear out, you know, all the gunk in here. See how you feel. I think you'll feel a little bit lighter. Then you can try another thing. Try 4, try and go to 8. And then you can try and do 12, 24, and you can keep going and going and going and going. The nice thing about all this is after you do that, you'll be able to kind of gauge where you're at. You'll be able to gauge how you feel. But fasting like nothing else, and I mean like nothing else. I tried everything, you know, I've tried ashwagandha, I've tried adaptogens, I've tried working out a ton. Fasting literally is one of the best feelings. Why? Because it just helps clear out everything. It helps boost growth hormone. It helps boost your happiness, your health. It does so many things. And the funny part is it's completely free. It's completely free. I'm not saying you have to go out and get this or go out and buy this or go out and, you know, look for anything else. You just take your time, use fasting. And the nice thing about fasting is not only is it free, but it's very, very effective. Calorie restriction is, I would say, the number 1 or the number 2 way to prevent aging. Not only to prevent aging, but to stay healthier longer and to stay healthy through your life, through your years. And not just because the car analogy I gave. That's the way I think of it. Especially processed food, your body has to spend more time breaking down processed food. And there's a lot of problems, and especially if you're watching from a Western country, you know, there's a lot of processed food. There's a lot of food with dyes and different preservatives and things that probably shouldn't be in food at all to begin with. And unfortunately, we're exposed to all of that. So if you're putting that in your body on a consistent basis, it's going to have a negative effect. We're seeing some huge problems now with artificial sweeteners. We're seeing some huge problems with dyes. And trust me, I never used to see the utility in this. I just say, eat whatever you want, whenever you want. But as I started to, you know, gain weight and not feel very good, I started to think, what are some ways, practical ways I could lose weight? Well, one was to exercise. But even if you're exercising and not eating good stuff, that doesn't necessarily guarantee everything's going to work out. You might get in better shape, and I did, but I just didn't have that really good, clear feeling. My head wasn't clear, and there's still issues, and I was wondering why. I'm doing everything right. So I just started fasting, and I'll admit, it's a little bit tough because you get hungry and you have those urges, I need to eat. And sometimes you can just forget about it. Forget that, you know, if you can get over the urges like our ancestors did. And this is probably why fasting works, because our ancestors went hunting from like animal to animal, animal to animal. And in between those times of hunting, when food couldn't be prepared like that, they couldn't mic it up, there was a period where they couldn't eat, maybe even a day or two. So in between that, our ancestors had to find food and then cook it and prepare it, and then find another food source and then cook it and prepare it. And between all of that, they had that time where their cells were cleaning itself. Also, that food wasn't highly processed. Now, there was problems back there too. If you got, you know, injured or something like that, there wasn't antibiotics, so it wasn't all roses. But that seems to me like a historical explanation, and also maybe a scientific explanation of why intermittent fasting works. So as I said, simply put, intermittent fasting is one of the best biohacks. It is completely free. All you have to do, pick a time window. If you're new, maybe start with 4 hours, bring it up to 8, just don't eat. You can have water, you can have black coffee, just don't put a ton of sugar and milk in it, and then try it out, see how you feel. Chances are it's going to clear up a lot of the issues that you've been having, going to clear up your body, your organs, your cells, and make you feel a lot better. So thank you so much for watching. If you enjoy this, like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.